Good morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from the wild gardens of Acadia. Today's verse is 1 John 3:7. Little children, make sure no one deceives you. The one who practices righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. Once again, John starts with little children, a term of endearment and a term only used for Christians. He's not talking to the world here. He is talking to Christians. And so when he says, make sure no one deceives you, he's talking to Christians here. So this tells us that people can deceive us. There is a devil out there, and he'd love to get us off track. Maybe a little this way, maybe a little this way. It doesn't matter how he gets us off track from loving God, as long as we are not loving God correctly. So it might be through some sort of Phariseeism, or keeping rules, or earning our way into heaven, or having enough faith to merit some sort of treatment from God, or a prosperity type of idea where God is our personal genie and he'll give us whatever we want, or even pursuing the devil to try to exorcise him. The devil doesn't care. As long as it gets our attention off of God and onto the devil, he's happy. So we got to really make sure no one deceives us. But let's get to the meat of this. It says, the one who practices righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. Now, when some people read this, they may read it like, the one who practices righteousness is righteous, just as he, the human, is righteous. And they might say, I practice righteousness because I am righteous. I've done this and that and the other thing, and I've earned this righteousness. Well, that's a Pharisee type of attitude, and it's not correct. So let's have the correct understanding. The one who practices righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. So remember, when we love him more than anyone else or anything else, God's going to give us new desires, and he's going to be in the driver's seat so that we desire what he desires. We think the way he thinks. We speak the way he speaks. We act the way he acts. And it's all because the Holy Spirit is guiding all of our actions and thoughts and everything. So, of course, it's going to come out righteous because he is righteous. Now, let's make sure we get this. It is not our righteousness. We don't earn one single bit of that. It's all his doing in us. Okay? Now, again, this part of deception. There are people who, again, look righteous, but they are doing it out of their own righteousness. That's what the Pharisees did. Anyone who saw the Pharisees might think, wow, these are righteous people. But they can't fool God. God is the good shepherd who knows the difference between the sheep and the goats. Now, I'm a city boy. I don't really know the difference between sheep and goats, at least not from a distance. One says ma, the other one says ba. I don't know. They're all very similar to me, but a shepherd knows. And on that note, let's look at a very famous passage in Matthew 25, starting in verse 31. It says, but when the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another, as the shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he'll say to the sheep, come into my righteousness, my glorious kingdom that's been prepared for you, because you fed me when I was hungry, you clothed me when I was naked, you visited me when I was sick, and everything else. And they'll say, gee, we don't remember doing that. And Jesus explains, because you did it to the least of them, the least of my brothers, you did it to me. What's interesting is the true righteous don't even realize that they're really ministering because they're being so led by the Holy Spirit. So let's make sure we are led by that kind of love and love him more than anything else, because then we're going to love every moment. I'm your average wretch, and I hope you have a great week.